Okay, I'm trying to plan what my next move is in removing the rotted part of the firewall and replacing it with this panel right here. I'll use the flashlight so you can really get a good look at it. So that's a replacement panel from LMC truck. It's a little bit different in that it has this hole here. That's for a foot brake, and I think this is for the foot brake cable. So those two holes have got to be patched before it gets installed here. The question is, how much of this firewall am I going to remove? So I made two lines. If I cut it here on the bottom line, remove all the stuff with the X's on it, what remains are these pockets for the weather stripping for the accelerator, brake, and clutch. If I cut above those and use practically this entire panel, you see it's got the indentations, but I still have to remove these pieces, which are spot welded in, and then re-weld them onto this new panel. So I'm thinking the best thing to do, this stuff up here above the solid line is pretty solid. I think I treat the surface rust with one of my chemical products. It's pretty smooth. I could probably just sand it too. I'm gonna have to grind it to make the weld, and just remove the lower line and cut up this panel and leave these original pockets in place and treat them for rust and replace the felt pads that are inside. That's what I'm leaning towards, and I'm going to think on that probably for a day or two, because I got plenty of other work to do with rust treatment and painting before I seal this up. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, today is the day I'm going to cut out the rest of the rust on the firewall. Pull that back a little. I've put the X's, I drew some lines. I'm going to remove that amount of rust today, try to fit up this floorboard section. If that doesn't work, I'll cut away more. That's all I can do. So let me get to cutting and let you know how it goes. Okay, I have all the rust excised, cut away. The hardest part now is going to be the fit up. I get this panel to match that cut exactly. I still got a little bit more cutting here on the white line to do. And I think I'm going to treat that top piece there with the rust treatment now. Do it sooner than later. Get all up under there. It's all little surface rust. It comes right off with the little sander, but I just want to get it done. Okay, so I'm working the fit up of the floor pan and the side panel. And I've mentioned before in another video that I cut the side panel down at that point because I want to keep the style lines that are there. And I had to make another cut in the patch panel. I want to show you this. This is the side patch panel. Now, I cut away the top part because I don't need it. But I had to cut the bottom off as well, this curved piece. I'm going to have to put that on separately, and I want to show you why. You see those two lines there? Those are structural lines to give the thing, the piece rigidity. And they have to match up. I'm going to show it from the outside. Where's my hand? Right there and right there. This panel can only go in one place. And those lines line up with that. I'm going to clamp this in place and I'll show you. Okay, there's the panel clamped in place. And as I swing it around to the outside so you can look in, you can see those lines, those bumps line up perfectly with these grooves. Now, to put the piece in one piece with the curved piece on, it just wouldn't fit. So you see why I put this in. I'm going to bang it in. Look at that. Look how far off it is. You can see that. Let me get the light over here. It'll, I could stitch that together. I'll make it work. But for now, it has to go in a second piece. So plan is to get this top piece in the right place, tack it in, and then bend that other piece down below till it butts up against it. Might have to do a little cutting, probably have to do some bending, and then tack that in. And then when that's done, then the floor pan's got to squeeze in there too. So I got a lot of work to do here, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, it's been about 4 hours. I've been trimming and trimming a little bit at a time to get this to fit. And if you take a look at that floor pan, it fits pretty well. That body line needs to, the floor pan needs to move over just a little bit to make that line up properly, which I can just tap that over when I get it final cut and fit. If you look at it from the front side, or from the engine side of the firewall, you pull back a little, come pan down, there it is there. I'll use the the cutoff wheel, maybe from this side, and try to make the cuts, or at least some of them, so to get it to fit in nice and tight before I weld it. So this is the other side. I'm going to hold up my straight edge, and I hope I can hold all this stuff at the same time with 2 hands. You see that? Straight edge, rocks. So I'm going to try to push that in, similar to the way that I fixed that crease with a clamp and some wood. I'm going to try to do the same thing here and get that straightened out before I continue welding. So I'll set that up with some C-clamps, and we'll see how that comes out. Okay, I'm set up to weld. I want to try to fill that gap that's almost 1/4 inch, probably a little less, but put a piece of copper backing there behind it. What I'm going to do is come around this side with the welder. And you can see the copper there, and I'm going to try to just fill that with weld, a little bit at a time, just like that piece is there already. And hopefully I can, fill that gap and then grind it smooth, and nobody will ever see it. But I think somebody will see it. We'll see. Okay, floorboard is in. It's welded. I'll show you this seam here. Came out pretty good. Bunch of spot welds. Some got to be ground and refilled. They didn't come out as good as I wanted. And of course the main seam, which is I would say the money shot, which everybody's going to see, still needs work. I've been grinding on it all morning. I hit it with the 4-inch grinder, the flap wheel, the 2-inch die grinder with 40-inch roll lock, 40 grit roll lock. It's getting there, but I don't know if you can see it in the in this video. There they are. A lot of pinholes need to be filled, so still got a lot more welding to do. And then I'm going to turn this way. I've been fitting this panel up all morning. That's just about ready to get welded in, or at least tacked in. And then I'm going to tack this piece down here, the missing curve, which I talked about earlier. And it's probably a good place to wrap up this video, and then come in when everything's all done with a new video. So thanks for watching.